Hey.
Okay, hi everybody, and welcome to this special broadcast on the 1111 portal. I'd like to welcome, first of all, Amy from Rainbow Healing Services, who's joining me today. Say hello to everybody, Amy.
Hello.
And I will just say, just from the get-go, that I know Amy on a personal level, and she's Amos to me. So I will be calling her Amos because I'm standing in my truth and honouring the 1111 portal for that. So just to let you know, in case that confuses anybody. But we've come together on this special day because it's a very magical, powerful portal day, 11th of November, 11/11. It's also Armistice Day, so it is that day of remembrance. So I wanted to just take a little moment to sort of say it's a day to remember the bravery and courage of all of those soldiers who fought fearlessly for our futures, but also it's an opportunity for us to remember those soldiers and warriors close to us who might have passed or who are still fighting battles of their own. And I think it's important to just take a moment to sort of remember those. So with that being said, courage and bravery comes up because of Remembrance Day and because of what we know from a history point of view. And courage and bravery is very important when we think of personal power, isn't it, Amos?
It sure is. And I'm going to call you Kirstos as well, because also standing in my truth, much as you are Kirsty from Lifting Consciousness, you are my bestie and you are Kirstos. So yes.
Absolutely. So we are sharing the love, which
we
if I can
are. Yes, I can't do that, so I'm going to do that.
Lovely, lovely. So yeah, so we're standing in our truth for you all today, and we've come together to really try and give some guidance, spiritual and holistic guidance for you all in terms of this portal, what it might mean for you. So we've got some cards which we've taken before the recording, which we will go through, and that will give us an overall message for the collective energies. And I will just say a disclaimer at this point. It is based on collective energy, and it is a collective reading, so bear that in mind and use your discernment. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. It could be somebody's story 100% to the letter. It might not be yours, so take what resonates and don't try and make anything fit that doesn't. But we try and help give guidance and advice where we can, but ultimately it's your journey and it's your decision in terms of any guidance that you receive. So just wanted to put that little disclaimer out there, if I can say the word.
Absolutely.
We're out of Mercury retrograde, so shouldn't have a problem with that now. But anyway,
it's just a slip up. They happen.
They happen. So it's really about standing in our authenticity and upholding our values and upholding our truth. And it's very important to do that, isn't it? On a number of levels. I think when we are true to ourselves, we create that inner peace, which I mentioned in a Sunday spiritual session on my YouTube video. And that inner peace then kind of emanates out into the collective. So it becomes a more harmonious place, doesn't it? What do you think? What does 11/11 mean to you in terms of that whole courage and bravery and peace, Amos?
Well, it does mean that, but it also, to me, 11/11 is about alignment. And I know we've discussed this many times, haven't we, in the past? And I have been seeing it a lot lately. In terms of that, which is, I feel, is a great sign for me personally that I'm on the right track with things, which is good to know. But also with that, I feel it's about connection with resonant souls. Which obviously, you know, we are resonant souls, and we're here today on 11/11, which feels very special. But it does feel about kind of alignment with your true purpose, being at peace with who you are, and absolutely that, having the courage to always speak your truth and go forward on your path with confidence, really. So quite a lot of things in 11/11, but a very positive, powerful combination of numbers.
Yeah, extremely positive. And I will say as well, for anybody interested in the astrology this week, there is a lot going on. We have come out of a massive intense period, as both Amos and I know, and many of you out there probably do, because we have felt the effects of this for a good number of weeks, but certainly with the full moon in Taurus that we had on Halloween. Just of brought everything, didn't it, to a head.
Yeah.
But it was great because that means we've been able to release all that toxic energy within us that's not serving us to move into this powerful expansion. And tomorrow we have Jupiter and Pluto conjuncting, and Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So what better time for it to happen?
Yeah.
And Pluto rules Scorpio. We're in Scorpio season currently, and that's all about that kind of death and rebirth. So when you think of it, we've got this conjunction between those two planets. So it's really encouraging us to expand on our inner truth, the depths from within ourselves out. And then we have Mars coming direct, because that's been in retrograde for what seems like ages. That's the warrior side of everything. So that gives us that extra power, and almost like that divine masculine power, but the masculine within each of us to bring that courage forward. And then we have a new moon in Scorpio coming up on the weekend. So that, again, you know, just kind of reaffirms everything that's gone on with that whole expansion, death, rebirth, transformation. Perfect time for intention setting, as we know. So it's just so powerful. This portal is really powerful, and an opportunity to stand in our truth. So I think we should get into it, shouldn't we, Amos?
I think we should. Absolutely.
So we've taken some cards, as I've said. We'll do that first of all, and then we've got some chakra cards just to go into, which we've put a post out on social media, and we had a lovely lady who responded to, you know, give us some colours and a steer on some colours to go for the chakras, and so we've got some cards to cover there, and then we're going to do something a bit different, aren't we? We're going to do a bit of a live card pull, where we're going to get you to focus on the energy of a certain number, but we'll come to that at that point and go from there. So if you're ready, Amos, let's get into it. Okay, so based on the collective energy today, the cards that I received from Spirit were as follows: the King of Cups, Judgment in reverse, and the Three of Pentacles. Ooh. Now, I clarified the Judgment in reverse, and I got 2 of Pentacles. So I'm using the Lightseers Tarot deck and the Labyrinth Tarot deck here. So yeah, I just wanted clarification on that. So really, when I look at these cards, I've got, as well as a Major Arcana in reverse, I've got Cups and Pentacles. So, and I know this ties in with what Amos is going to say as well, but Cups, thinking of that emotion. And when we think of standing in our truth, we need to also be balanced in our emotions to be able to do that. And Pentacles is that earthly, grounded energy. So there's a lot of that coming through as well for me. But King of Cups is very confident and very assured in his emotions. And he is a leader. He is a wise leader in that. So I think we can actually take some advice from this King of Cups and know that we can feel confident in actually standing tall in our power, can't we? And certainly, yeah, he's just there. He's got the cup there, which is almost like a singing bowl, it looks like, but, you know, with the water, very at peace. So he's very assured and confident in it, which is why I wanted to get a clarifier for the Judgment in reverse, because this would kind of indicate a bit of self-doubt, lack of being able to make judgment. It is the number 20 in the Major Arcana, which makes me think of 2020 as well. And I think this year has kind of, there's been a lot going on with the global event. So it's not surprising that we might have entered into a bit of self-doubt, and maybe we've not been able to make judgment calls where we've needed to. And the clarifier with the Two of Pentacles is almost that juggling, and maybe we've been juggling things. Now, juggling is a positive thing as well, I think, because it depends on the context. We don't want to juggle things that then make it an overburden for ourselves. But, you know, it depends on the context very much. But that could be what's leading to a self-doubt, because we might have too many things that we're trying to be like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? I've been in that frame of mind myself, as Amos can testify to that.
Yes.
But it is moving out of that, I would say. And to do that, just recognizing that there are people around us that can help us in terms of teamwork and support to actually build that future that we want for ourselves, and, you know, putting that work and effort in, but also knowing that we have people around us to support us, and not falling into this self-doubt and not able to make a judgment call, because we have people that can help us and then can ultimately get us into the King of Cups status, confident in our power. And I see that as like a traffic light as well.
That's exactly what I was going to say, actually. It's like ready, steady, go, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So very much on your marks, get set, go, especially with all of the planetary stuff going on. Really make use of this powerful portal. And we'll see what Amos has got for the cards and see how they kind of tie in. So let's see what you've got, Amos.
Okay, so without further ado, I have used the secret language of colour cards for these, because I thought they're quite nice. They've got a lovely sort of light, flowy energy. Also because I'm shortly due to move and I've packed a lot of my cards away. So I'm quite limited in my selection right now, but these are really, really great ones. So the first card that I pulled was Burgundy, and that's about awakening your passion. So very much what you were saying, very much tying in, very similar to what I'm wearing.
I was just thinking that. Nice blend there.
I didn't know that, obviously, because I got dressed before I pulled the cards. But I do feel it's kind of, to me, it's about toasting success, this one. There is a knock at the door, so we're going to have to answer the door a second. So there we are, impromptu recordings. I'll be right back.
No problem. And whilst you're doing that, I'll just carry on with what I was saying then in terms of really stepping into our energy and using the people around us that can help. And I think, that burgundy that Amos had there in that card is very much about being true with those rooted passions that we have, because the red in that sort of burgundy, I know it's a shade of it, but red in itself is that root chakra. And I know I had a discussion with Amos earlier about what colour her top actually was, whether it's red or orange, and it is like a blend of the two. So very much root and sacral chakra orientated, but very much what you're saying there about, being true to your passions, but those root passions. So
completely. And apologies for that. It was a parcel, so I'll wait with anticipation to see what that is after we finish chatting. But very much the passion. And I've also noticed the number 10, which feels about kind of that rounding up of a cycle as well, what you were talking about with yours. So we're coming into a really exciting new phase, which feels like, as it's the first card, the first kind of the beginning card of the new phase. So burgundy. The second card is Auburn, about grounding yourself. Now, this is interesting, isn't it, with what we were discussing earlier about the leaves, and also very current because of the season that we're in, very autumnal. It's card number 11. I don't know if that was noted there, whether you could see that because it's in the bottom.
Amazing.
So again, it feels very current, doesn't it? Because we're in this magnificent, powerful portal. We've got card 11, which is present and in the now. And spending that time connecting to our power, connecting to nature, which is another message that I kind of put out there this morning on my page. So it feels very current, because if we take that time to connect with ourselves, allowing the stillness and the insights to come through, that's when we can really discover what lights our fire and our passion. So some really, really good ones there.
Great, really good. And that Auburn one with the transformation, it ties in on so many levels, as you said, seasonal, but also that warmth from the colors on the card, the transformation. I put a post up a couple of weeks ago, which was because as the leaves have been falling and just noticing the different shades of colors that are falling, and actually recognizing that we are shedding layers of ourselves that are all different things, but it's almost needed to bring about the new vibrant energy, isn't it? So and what an amazing number, 11.
11, so, I know, and it's for now. And then we've got an even more amazing one for card 3. I feel, as well as the collective, I can't get my words out now, put my teeth in, I feel it's quite personal to us. Sorry, there's another knock at the door. It's anticipation, isn't it?
It is anticipation, and it just goes to show when we're doing a broadcast, you never know what's going to happen, and it can be very timely. And I think these things happen, and often they're signs from the universe. So really, really interesting to know what the third card is. Very, very interested, Amos, to know.
With anticipation as she comes back. The post lady had 2 parcels, and one had fallen over in the back, so I've now got it all behind me. So
Fabulous.
hopefully you can't see. Right, drum roll.
Drum roll.
Okay, so our third card is indigo. Improve your vision. So very much about the third eye, which we know, without doing too much of a spoiler, is going to be quite key for our discussions going forward today. But we've got number 40, which feels, again, quite relevant.
Yes.
And it's also, to me, it's that insight, it's getting clearer, isn't it, as we're spending that time getting to know ourselves better, spending that time connecting to nature, to our true power, finding out what really lights our fire. We can see much more clearly what's next and what we kind of need to do. There's so much powerful energy around, isn't it? And it's about harnessing it and making the best of it for us.
Yeah. Yes.
And kind of making real our intentions and setting them out very clearly. So
yeah,
yes, that was quite a lot of anticipation build with those there, wasn't it? Like
it was. I felt like one of those kind of quiz shows where it was like revealing the answer and sort of, what is it? But I do think they tie in, don't they? And I would say that it's very much, the message is all about standing in your truth, isn't it? And actually engaging with ourselves, being part of the universe and the collective, and also being part of nature. Because when you said that about connecting with nature, because we are part of it, we're part of creation. So it is important to do that. Now, what we have now is a couple of chakra cards that we're going to focus on, because Max from the group kindly was drawn to a couple of colours, and there was one card in particular she was drawn to. So we've taken that card, and then we've taken another card from the other colour selected. All of those colour cards represent a chakra, for anybody that's familiar with chakra work. And Amos does a lot with chakra work because of being a Reiki practitioner, Reiki teacher, etc. All of the chakras work together, and it's important for them to be in alignment, but often we can be a bit out of balance, can't we, in certain areas?
We can, yeah.
And that can manifest in certain issues that we're experiencing. So I think this is quite a good one to delve into, and certainly because Max was drawn to these cards, it's part of the collective as well, that we're also seeing what's going to come from that. So let's dive right in, Amos.
Let's go for it.
So the first card is from the blue chakra cards, and the blue chakra card is representative of the throat chakra. So all about kind of communicating, expressing our truth, isn't it? So again, very important when we think of this 1111 portal. And the card that Max was drawn to is the isolation card. Now, I don't want anybody to look at this who, if you're not familiar with this deck, I don't want you to look at this card and think, oh, that's a negative meaning, because some of these cards do have words, don't they, that don't actually...
They don't really tie in at all with what it means. They're quite misleading in that sense, but they're not equally, they're very powerful, aren't they? But
they are, for sure. So this card is actually about, from how I see it, is almost not missing out on opportunities that could be presented to us by isolating ourselves away. Now, isolation is probably not a great word for this time of lockdown and everything that's going on, because we're finding that we're having to be isolated from things, but there are other things we could be doing to sort of pursue our passions. So I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to say on this card, Amos, for isolation.
Well, what stands out to me, obviously, the word isolation is quite a negative word, but it is to me a bit kind of, it's taking the time to be a bit hermit-like, because then you kind of need to take that step back, and whatever way you sort of see that, it doesn't mean shutting yourself in the house, but going back to that, taking your time out for yourself, being in nature. Sometimes we're so busy with what's going on in life, we need that time out. So it's not isolation in that sense, it's I need to be able to take that time out for me, so that I don't miss those opportunities in whatever way that kind of, so that I can hear those insights, I can be amongst the trees, I can be amongst nature, and then it's like, oh, eureka, that's what I needed to know. So it is in a sense, you know, kind of about shutting yourself off to be able to get that, because sometimes I think we're just so busy, we just don't allow ourselves that time.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it does make us then recognize more about who we are, doesn't it? Because it is inner reflection, and it is that kind of checking in with your intuition, because that's one of my key points I also wanted to make, was about, you know, our intuition is our inner compass. I like to describe it as our inner compass, because it guides us, and often we can't hear it, and often we don't want to listen to it. So it's kind of knowing the difference, isn't it? And checking in 100%. And having that quiet time is very important to realign with who we are, and what we want. Yeah. So the second card, now Max was drawn to the purple, and the purple relates to the brow chakra, or the third eye chakra, as it's more commonly known. So this is very powerful, isn't it? The third eye chakra. And we took a card at random. We did it in synchronicity, and the card we have is this one. So it's despondence. Again, we don't want to kind of harper on to the, you know, the word despondence, feeling despondent about things. Maybe we can't actually see what it is we really want, because we're feeling despondent because of past issues that have affected us, you know, that kind of thing. In this card also we see it's very Empress-like, actually, from tarot, because she's got the world, really, you know, in her tummy, and it's almost like, you know, there's new opportunities and new beginnings to be had, but sort of moving out of that despondent feeling. So is there anything else you'd like to say about despondence and the third eye chakra, Amos?
Yeah, I mean, similar to what you said, really, as you know, indeed with the isolation one, it is kind of very much that world that you've got there that you almost can't see, because it's so much going on around you. It's kind of, oh, but I'm not coming back to my center, and thinking about what's right. So it does feel like it ties in very much with the isolation card, but also the fact that, you know, that one came out about improving your vision, because it felt very key, didn't it, that one came out as a particular message. So just taking that time to kind of think, what is it that I really want? It's not about what everyone else thinks I should do, but it's about what I really want. So yeah,
and so many of us, it's easy actually, because when we are feeling that we need a bit of guidance, we can often look too much outside ourselves, can't we? And almost like not wanting to take the responsibility for ourselves. But then it's kind of like, well, then it's somebody else's view. Am I really aligning with that? Is it actually what I want? Or is it just because I don't want to take responsibility and actually make the decision myself? Again, I've been in that situation myself, and you know, I've had to kind of look internally and think, okay, what is it? You know, is it because I'm too scared of my own power? You know, is it that fear that's coming forward? So it is something that we all work through in our own way, because it's our own path, isn't it? Our own journey. We're on our own timelines, and as we know, time doesn't really mean a lot. And certainly this past year so far has shown us that, because, you know, we've not been able to do the things that maybe we've wanted to do, but equally we've been able to realize what is important for us. So it has helped us in that way. But now culminating in this 1111 portal, it's almost like we don't want to waste the opportunity that's ahead of us to make a significant positive difference in our own lives, isn't it?
Correct.
So I hope you enjoyed that, and Max, particularly because you selected those cards. So I hope that resonated. But
yes,
also
thank you, Max, for commenting.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you. We love to hear from people, because it does then show that engagement with the collective, doesn't it? And you know, we're members of the collective ourselves, so it's like we like to kind of give back, and don't we? So it's just powerful, yeah, when we're all together. So now this is the bit where we do need the drum roll. What we were going to do. I'm just waiting for the door to knock again, Amos.
Well, third time lucky. I mean, I don't think it really can, because you want to see behind me. I know you can't, but it's hilarious.
Well, what we were going to do is we were going to actually, I know it's not a live broadcast as such, but obviously whenever you find this message and you watch it, it's meant for you at that time. So take a moment as we're shuffling the cards, because we're going to select a stack of 3 piles then of cards, if you like, to give some extra guidance. Really try and feel into the energy whilst we're doing this of whether you're drawn to 1, 2, or 3, because we're going to have 3 stacks of cards, both of us. I think, Amos, you're going to have runes as well, aren't you?
I am, yes. Yeah.
Which is just an added extra, which is brilliant. And then we'll see, you know, what the card reveal is for each of those stacks. So whilst we're shuffling, really try and feel into that, because we're going to try and pick up on that energy as we're shuffling. And then you know what you're drawn to, 1, 2, or 3. Okay. I'm going to use the Lightseers Tarot. I'm absolutely in love with this deck, as Amos knows, because I love the artwork on it. It's a great divination tool. So I'm going to use that. I'm also going to then put a Sacred Destiny Oracle card on there. And I am also going to mix up the yellow chakra cards and the orange chakra cards. So we have the solar plexus, which again is very much stepping into your power. Sacral chakra with the orange. So that's very much igniting and illuminating your passion, which then feeds into your power, because it's what you want to do and it's your creativity as well. So I'm going to fuse those together, and that's going to be an extra card on the top to really give that message. And then Amos, you've got cards and a rune then, have you?
I have, yeah. So I've got the same cards that I've used for the others, and and a rune. Yeah.
Lovely. Great. Okay. So what we'll do then is we'll just bear with us while we're shuffling. Yeah. And we'll pick up on the collective energy. So just bear in mind, it is still collective energy, but whether you're drawn to 1, 2, or 3. Okay. Bear with me whilst I put some oracles on there. Right, let's see what we have for the collective, please. And for stack 2. I mentioned to Amos before we started recording that the cards have wanted to fly out today, which I think is very indicative of the energy.
Yes.
Because Spirit is trying to tell us things and trying to get us aligned with this powerful transformation. So we're going to put a chakra card on there now, blending of the 2. So let's see what we have, please, for stack 1. I don't know if there's anything further you want to say, Amos, about it whilst I'm finishing off
just shuffling away. I guess, yeah, really. I hope people can, harness a lot of positivity from what we're doing, from what we're saying, and that the messages are coming across as helpful and supportive of people, on their path, because we recognise it's been a challenging year for many. And particularly if you're kind of starting out on your spiritual path, it's a very tricky time, isn't it? That you're almost in this kind of enforced hermit mode, whether you want to be or not, kind of thing. So I do hope that people will draw a lot of positivity from this, and what's going forward, and hopefully draw their own messages from it for what will be meaningful for them.
Absolutely. I've got an abundance of colour on this
I love it.
Very powerful. Yeah. So we know we've got stack 1, stack 2, and stack 3. Okay. So if I reveal what I have in my stack, yeah.
Yes.
So we'll do the reveal for card 1, sorry, stack 1, because there's more than one card. Yeah, so stack 1, I have the tarot card that I've got is Temperance in the reverse. Okay, that's number 14. But yeah, Temperance in the reverse. So there does feel like there might be some unwillingness to be patient potentially, because obviously in the upright it does bring that patient and balanced approach to things. So there might be an unwillingness to do that for some reason, perhaps an impatience. But, and this is how I love all the cards linked together, it's important to recognize that when we do get to a point of a standstill in any moment, that those are opportunities for us to reflect. So take that time. If you are feeling a bit impatient about wanting to surge forward with your power, that's great, because that's what we want. But recognize there has to be some element of patience as well. And the standstill time, you can appreciate what is in the present as you're working towards what you're wanting to achieve in the future. And what you're wanting to achieve in the future is clearly something of a passion to you. So we have a sacral chakra card there. So really checking in with yourself, using that time in standstill mode, which again, we don't want to think of it as standstill mode, just be present and really ignite those passions to get into that more temperance state, if I say that right. So that's stack 1. How about yourself, Amos, for stack 1?
Stack 1. Da-da. Oh, wowzers. Okay, I hadn't cheated and revealed it, actually. I was like, because I always do that with my own Tarot Tuesday. I like the anticipation. So we've got Jade for stack 1. Taking action. And I love that, because that's the light peeping through the trees. It's very much in with our nature theme that we discussed earlier. Taking the time to be present, but also taking action on what we've discovered, isn't it? You know, kind of, yeah, we've discovered all this stuff, but we're not just going to put it to one side. Okay, we've got some great insight here, so let's do something with it. We've also got 32 as the number. 3 and 2 adds up to 5, which is about change. So
as does 1 and 4 in the 14.
Yes!
Actually, there you go. Synchronicity there, peeps. Yeah,
love it. So it's transformation, isn't it? Which and as you see, you know, the green and the trees, they're obviously coming into that new phase again, aren't they? So yeah, really, really transformational. So taking action on what we've discovered. And I'm going to draw the rune now. Da-da. And the supporting rune we have with this one, we've got the rune of protection. You probably can't see it very well. I'll have to zoom in. We will take a picture probably of what we've discovered as well, so that people can see. I'm guessing would be quite a good thing. So knowing, you know, that you're supported, obviously, within what you're doing, that you are well protected, and harnessing the energy of nature, the trees, and what you've discovered, and knowing that you know you're going to be protected by spirit on your chosen path.
Definitely. So not be afraid of actually stepping into those passions because of that protection. Yeah,
100%.
And embracing the standstill moment. So fabulous. That's great. So stack number 2, for anybody that resonated with 2, 2 tarot cards flew out. So it felt like there was a lot of energy actually around stack 2. So there might be this kind of buzzing energy, excited nervousness, or something, you know, some kind of energy, because they flew out. And what we have is we have the Page of Swords. I'll put that up, which actually that's got yellow in it, so that's very solar plexus as well. But swords being the energy associated with air energy, so very much in your thoughts and communication. And then we have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. So this is, again, it's swords and pentacles, so earthly, need for communication. Because the 8 of Pentacles is in reverse, actually, that could be why the energy felt a bit nervous, because maybe there is a need to be grounded in that earthly energy. But also this Page of Swords, it's almost like a new quest towards opportunity for learning, almost like an apprenticeship style. There might be something you want to study, there might be something that you want to just learn more of, gain more wisdom about, could be a new job even. And she's carrying, as you can see, the light bulbs like they're balloons, so very flighty. She's crossing that gap with the sword but not looking, so she's very confident in that. So there is a sense of being confident in moving towards these new opportunities for study and growth, but the need to put the required work and effort in, because in the upright it's all about putting that work and effort into doing it, but in the reverse that might show that there's some blockage to that. So it might be that something needs to work on. So we'll see what the other cards say. I love this card. We have the pleasure card.
Oh, well, that feels key again, because that was the one I posted this morning.
Yeah, it does feel key. And also I like the fact that there's green and there's blue, with the kind of the earthliness as well with that. But also, you know, when you think she's walking across there, she could be walking towards that. So you could be actually walking towards the greatest pleasure that you could imagine in what you want to do. But it is putting the work and effort in. And again, this is why I love Spirit for giving us these messages, because it requires perseverance. And that ties in with the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So how amazing is that?
I love it. Synchronicity in action. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah. What have you got, Amos, for stack
number 2? I just want to revert back briefly to stack 1, because what I did notice, I said, and I will post up the picture for everybody later, is that the protection rune actually looks like a tree.
It does.
So that was another mirror that I'd noticed when it was on top of the card. So I thought, what a great confirmation there.
It does.
But yes, I won't dwell on that too long. Just an observation. So stack 2, we have got peach. This one is about inhaling a breath of life. Card 19. So again, if we reduce that down, we've got the 10, you know, the completion of the cycle and the new beginning. This one to me is very much about our senses. So again, it's very nature themed, and I know Kirstos has got some fruit with her as well, so it feels very in the now moment again. Yes. We've also got that lovely kind of orange sacral chakra energy. So it's about our passions, and it's about kind of really that self-care comes out to me with this one, because we've got our candle and our essential oil and our bath salts and fruit, you know, really kind of indulging in the things that we enjoy in life, and, you know, taking that time to enjoy our passions, recognizing they can be part of our purpose as well. So the rune, can you hear it all like,
yes.
Yeah. The rune we've got for this one, okay, is the Self. So again, very interesting, because the self-care, devoting the time to yourself, coming back to your center, thinking about what matters to you. So that is so important. Don't be thinking about what's going on around. It's not selfish to think about you. It's self-caring.
Yes, it really is. And that just makes me think of that Page of Swords, because she's crossing the bridge on the sword without even looking. So she's not worrying about the external in that respect, is she? She's very much focusing on what she wants to learn and what she wants to achieve. But again, anybody with card stack 2, perseverance is key.
Yes.
So we'll move on to the final stack then. This is like, this is one of my favorite cards in the upright. It's come out in the reverse. So for card stack 3, we have the Queen of Cups in the reverse. So in the upright, this is her in all her glory, which I love, because it's almost like she's making that shape of a whale or a dolphin even coming out of the sea. And I'm a Pisces, so it resonates with me from the water side of things. But she's making that magic happen with her hands, and very confident in her emotions and nurturing. So there may be an element of needing to go back into that nurturing qualities of yourself, because there might be some emotions. There might be some stagnant emotions or blocked emotions. Queen of Cups is very again, she's a leader, so she's very confident in her emotions and very nurturing with it. And I think it's showing that you've got the capability of doing that and being able to nurture others, but there might just be something relating to emotions that might be blocking you, or something that might need attention. It might even be energies still trying to kind of dissipate from the full moon release. So, you know, I wouldn't say it's negative at all. I would say it's being grounded in your emotions.
Yeah.
And actually, we have a beautiful card of divinity, to be honest with you. Stillness. I love it.
I love that card.
I'll hold it up a bit closer so you can see. Yeah.
Oh.
It's just, for me, I look at it, and because it's almost like a nighttime view of this swan. It's very illuminated. It's very mystical. I mean, I love it, but obviously the purity, it just represents to me that purity and divinity. This is a sign for the universe that it's safe to actually nurture yourself as well as nurturing others, which actually goes back to what Amos was saying about self-care, because that is important for everybody to do. Mm-hmm. But certainly when you think of, you know, that time to be still with ourselves and to really know what we want and know what's best for our emotions, our emotional well-being, you know, to step into that Queen of Cups energy, which we want to be in the upright, where we can take what we've learnt, use our emotions in a positive way to impact others. And what a fantastic way to do this, by being of service to other people. Now, the card is a bit, you know, the image on it's always a bit depressing when I see it. Yeah. But actually looking at the positive from it, you know, the message that comes from it is being of service to other people. But it goes deeper than that. It's being of service to ourselves so that we can be of service to other people. And I think ultimately that's what needs to happen to turn this into that. Don't know if you agree with that, Amos. That's what I kind of pick up.
I certainly do. And it was that one again, because, you know, stack 3 and obviously the initial one, card 3, because I don't want to spoil card 3 just yet. Again, it's got that mirror, isn't it, with the purple. So yes. I love it. It's brilliant. Synchronicity. So yes, without further ado, I will reveal stack 3. And we've got plum. So what could be more timely, really? And it's about overcoming your challenges.
So that's a 4 and 1 as well, which is
a 5, yeah. So we've also got, I mean, we've had the 40 in the previous kind of one, and the 41 here. As you said, the change, the number 5. To me, it's really about that mist. That mist is kind of clearing. We have to get through the light's there, but it's just, we need to kind of get to it, and everything's kind of clearing around us. So it's really important, as we've said earlier, to make sure that we've, you know, released things, and we continue to release things as we go, because we're going to meet challenges, obstacles, swords energy. We're going to meet it in our life journey, aren't we? We just are. And it's about how we master those things and those challenges going forward. And stillness is a big part of that, and reflection, and not getting sucked into drama and all those sorts of things, isn't it? Which can be so easy to do sometimes in life, particularly with all the negative news that is around at the moment.
Absolutely. And my advice on that would be, don't pay much attention to it.
Quite, I would agree. because it's all about bringing it back to your center, and not focusing on the outside, isn't it? But focusing on what's inside. So the final room feels quite key. I'm going to shuffle away and we concentrated face.
I think it will be significant because my nose was itching. So
that was interesting, because 3 actually fell out, but but I will just take the one that was in my hand initially. Okay, so this one is interesting because it's initiation. So it's initiation into a new phase. So what we've kind of said about in terms of the, you know, the energy, the portal that we're in, we're moving into this really key new phase, but we're only going to be able to kind of do that by overcoming our past challenges and obstacles, really, to really make the most of it, to really, really benefit. And as those other two did fall out, I think that they need to be revealed, even though it was only
yes,
but they did.
Extra messages,
so, yeah. So we've got the rune of flow, which is always a very important message about being fully in the flow and accepting that challenges, etc., are going to arise, but we're just going to ride along the river of life, and just be carried along, accepting we've got to play our part. These things are going to come up, and we can seek help, insight if we need to, or we can come back to ourselves and think, yeah, we can probably deduce some of this on our own, but we might need a bit of guidance to get to the nitty gritty. But essentially, yes, being in the flow is very important. And the final one, which I think is a lovely one to finish on, is the blank rune. There's nothing on that, so I don't know why I'm holding it up. But essentially, it's about our destiny, because essentially we need to find that, don't we? We need to make sure that we fulfill our purpose on this planet. And I know that's something you and I have discussed a lot, Kirstos. We really want to make sure that we realise our full potential on this earth, of what we're meant to achieve and how we're meant to be of service to others, coming back to the message of being of service, as I'm sure you all do as well. You know, and not kind of just go about each day and not really think about what we're doing, but really think, what am I meant to bring to fulfill, you know, my destiny here. So I think that's quite a nice one to close it out, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And also I like the fact that it's a blank rune, because it almost you can kind of paint your own canvas with what you want. And it is very much about that. It's just, creation is available to all of us because we're all part of it anyway. So very powerful messages. I did just want to get a number from you finally, because I noticed that no yellow chakra cards came out. They were all sacral chakra, which again is, you know, going into that passion and that creativity. But just to kind of, you know, end it on that, to do with the solar plexus, because of that being all about our personal power. I've got the yellow cards here, so I'm just going to shuffle, and then I'd like Rose to give me a number.
Okay, number 5.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll see. Oh, beautiful card to end it on, peeps.
Yay! Amen to that.
So I think that's telling us that when we truly align with our personal power, and that is basically our own truth and our own authenticity, our values, what we want, what we kind of foresee as our destiny, if you like, it brings us that joy, and it brings us that inner peace that I was talking about at the very beginning. So that like links it right back to that. And this is just, you know, that sunflower, well, there's many around her, but the one that's kind of, you know, within her, that's just that expression of joy from doing what you want to do. And it could be the simplest things. I actually had like an example that came into my mind, which is, you know, when somebody asks you to go somewhere and you don't want to go, but you go, how does that make you feel? You're not in your personal power, are you? And it's something as small as that. If you don't want to go, there's no need to fall out about it or create conflict, but it's almost like, if you don't want to go, you don't want to go, and express your truth, because you could go and then end up feeling worse at the end of it. So that's just like a little example. I know we're talking on a bigger scale here about destiny, fulfilling our kind of mission and our purpose, but just to really kind of bring it home to what personal power is, it's knowing what's right for us on all levels, isn't it, Amos?
Yes, 100%, because we've always got to honour that, haven't we? We've got to honour our truth. And by doing so, again, coming back to the earlier 1111 message, that's how we attract the resonant souls in our lives, because resonant souls understand that, you know, I'm just committing to what is in here. I'm committing to my truth.
Our soul's truth, isn't it? Absolutely. And a card fell on the floor, and I wonder if you can guess what it is.
Oh wow. We love
So
that one.
everybody out there watching, take a moment to visualize yourself on this throne, please, because we are all capable and we are all worthy of sitting on this throne.
Yes, we are.
So take a moment to really recognize that. And it doesn't matter what we've been through. It doesn't matter the obstacles that we have to face on a daily basis. They're all serving to teach us things. We are all worthy of sitting on this throne. And that is our truth. Okay, so that's just a final message from me with that. And just a bit of advice I find quite useful, and certainly with the solar plexus, and Amos might have some tips as well, but I've got a lemon here just to show you the vibrancy of the yellow. And I think it's very powerful if you have yellow things around you, or if you wear some yellow clothing. You know, we know the sun, kind of that yellow beams of light as we would see it.
Yeah.
And the sun is basically holding its power every day. And even at night for us, when we see the moon, it's lighting up the moon. So actually it's consistent, isn't it? But the yellowness, the vibrancy, I guess the point I'm making is to focus on anything that you might have around you that's yellow, to really kind of think, you know, the power within us is attainable because it's within us. We just need to bring it out. We just need to express it and not be afraid to express it. So I hope that resonates with you. As I said at the beginning, take what does, leave what doesn't. I hope you've played along with the card stacks 1, 2, and 3. Be interested to know your comments on that. Now, Amos, to wrap it up, we've got a bit of a special offer, haven't we?
We have. How exciting.
Yeah, so so for a sort of limited time, we will put details in the description and also on social media. But to kind of celebrate this 1111 portal and to really try and help you through it, we've got these offers on at the moment. So with myself, I'm offering to do tarot card reading, so 3 tarot cards and a supporting oracle card for £11.11. So 11.11. And to claim that offer, again, I'll put details in the description, but you can comment or send me a message or drop me an email. We'll put all the details there. If you could put lifting 1111, because I'm from Lifting Consciousness, so lifting 1111. And Amos is going to do a similar offer, aren't you, Amos? So do you want to mention what that is?
Yeah, certainly. So again, similar to Kirsto's, I'm going to do a mini 3-card reading with a supporting crystal to go along with that. And in a similar vein, I'm also offering this for £11.11. So if you're interested to take up this offer, the code for that will be Rainbow 1111, as my business is Rainbow Healing Services. Thank you.
Fabulous. Yeah, so it's a great opportunity if you just want a bit of clarity, because they are mini readings. Obviously, if you want a more in-depth reading, we can do that, but the special offer price is for a mini reading with either a supporting oracle card or a supporting crystal. And 1111, let's just, you know, get the 1111 out there to just spread the vibe of the synchronicity. You might even have noticed today lots of 1111s just generally that have come up, as well as the time, but you know, we see them quite a bit, don't we, Amos?
We do.
So I think that's very good, and we can kind of tune into your energy, because this is a collective reading. So if you want one that's more personalized to you, it's a fantastic opportunity to gain a bit of a snapshot into what the 1111 portal might be able to open up for you, and any advice that you might need relating to that. So again, we'll put all the details in the description. We'll put the details on social media, and hopefully we'll do another one of these another time, Amos.
Yes, it would be good to, wouldn't it? Because it's lovely to get together and share our insights, and also share our passion about what we're passionate about. And hopefully that comes across, that we're both passionate about this and about essentially helping people to find their way.
Indeed, yeah, because we're all part of that collective consciousness. So it's all what we're doing and we're transforming within ourselves is helping so much on a much bigger scale, and some people don't even realize that. And that's why we shouldn't be afraid of our power, because our power is more powerful than we can ever imagine. So it's a really positive thing. And I think the new moon is going to be great for intention setting as well. So again, these 11/11 readings will kind of help, you know, building up to that point, because there might be specific things that you're then able to put as your manifestations and your intention settings.
Yes.
So, you know, obviously it's going to depend on the person, obviously. But it's a fantastic way to just tune in and really kind of get that guidance. So I hope you'll sort of join us for that. That would be fabulous. So yeah, any parting words from yourself, Amos, before we end the session?
Only just to say, yeah, I hope everyone's enjoyed it, and thanks for bearing with us, and thanks for bearing with Postman's Knock ×2. I was expecting ×3, but it just goes to show you just can't tell. The universe is full of surprises. So yes, I do hope you've enjoyed and that you've taken something from the guidance that we've been able to share with you today. Thank you very much.
Lovely, thanks. So yeah, any questions anyone's got, you know, we'll put our details up as well. Get in touch if you're interested in the 11/11 readings, and we will speak to you soon. So take care, everybody.
Bye all.
Bye.